Get out! Take those kids and that diaper bag with you!
Look at her begging with 2 children. Pathetic.
We won! This is ours now!
I know! It's perfect!
Wait, what is this?
Oh no. They're taking everything.
No, didn't this!
And that's when his hands started shaking as he called her phone again and again. Because whatever Kira did after that door locked turned his freedom into a nightmare. Please sit back, relax as we dive fully into this really remarkable story. Kira had always known Nolan could be cold, but she had never imagined he would choose a moment like this. The sky was still holding the last streaks of orange from sunset when the front door opened, and everything in her life shifted in a single breath. She stood on the porch with one suitcase that refused to close, a diaper bag slipping off her shoulder, and 2 children who did not understand why their home was suddenly behind a locked door instead of around them like it had always been. "Nolan, what are you doing?" she asked quietly, her voice steady in a way that surprised even her. He didn't look at her the way he used to. There was no hesitation, no flicker of doubt, just irritation. "I'm done, Kira. I don't want this anymore. I don't want you anymore." Behind him, Tina leaned casually against the wall like she had always belonged there. She was wearing Kira's house slippers, the soft gray ones Kira had bought last winter, and something about that detail hit harder than the words. It wasn't just that another woman was in her home, it was how easily she had stepped into it. Their son tugged at Kira's coat. "Mommy, are we going somewhere?" Kira swallowed before answering. "Yes, baby, just for a little while." Their daughter's voice came out in small, shaky cries. "My bunny, it's inside." Kira looked at Nolan. "Can she at least get her toy?" Nolan exhaled sharply, like even that request annoyed him. "Kira, don't start. Just take what you have and go." Tina laughed softly under her breath. "It's just a toy. She'll survive." Kira didn't respond to her. She kept her eyes on Nolan. "You're really doing this now?" He shrugged. "You'll survive." There was something final in the way he said it, like he had already closed the door in his mind long before he did it physically. Kira bent down and zipped the suitcase as best she could. It bulged at the edges, clothes pushing against the fabric like they didn't want to leave either. She adjusted the diaper bag and took her daughter's hand. Her son pressed close to her side, silent now, sensing something was wrong, even if he didn't understand what. "Come," she said gently. The door shut behind them with a sharp, echoing click. The lock followed. Kira stood there for a second longer than necessary, staring at the wood grain of the door. That door had once opened to laughter, to birthdays, to quiet evenings when Nolan would sit beside her and talk about the future like it belonged to both of them. Now, it was just a barrier. Her daughter cried louder. Kira turned away. She didn't knock. She didn't beg. She didn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her break. The walk to the car felt longer than it should have. Every step was heavy, not because of the suitcase, but because of what she was carrying inside her chest. She opened the back door and helped the children in. Her son climbed quietly. Her daughter kept whispering, my bunny," until Kira leaned in and kissed her forehead. "I'll get you another one, okay? But I want mine. I know." Kira closed the door gently, then stood outside the car for a moment, her hand resting on the roof. The world felt too still, like it hadn't caught up to what had just happened. Inside the house, laughter rose faintly. Kira inhaled sharply. That sound broke something in her. She quickly got into the driver's seat, started the car, and pulled away before the tears could fall where her children could see them. It wasn't until she turned the corner, until the house was completely out of sight, that the first tear slipped down her cheek. She wiped it away immediately. "Not now," she whispered to herself. "Not now." She drove with purpose, even though her mind was racing. There was no plan yet, just movement, just distance. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it briefly at a stoplight. One message from Nolan. "Take what's yours and don't come back." Kira stared at the words for a second, then locked her phone without replying. Her grip tightened on the steering wheel. She didn't cry again. Not yet, because right now she had 2 children in the back seat who needed her to be steady. And steady she would be. Inside the house, Tina stretched her arms like she had just stepped into a life she had always deserved. She walked slowly through the living room, her fingers brushing against furniture, surfaces, everything Kira had carefully arranged over the years. "So, this is it," she said with a smile. "This is what she's been clinging to." Nolan poured wine into 2 glasses, trying to settle into the moment. "You make it sound like it's nothing." Tina picked up a framed photo from the shelf. Kira and the children at a park, smiling under bright sunlight. She tilted her head slightly, studying it. "She tried," Tina said, her tone amused. "I'll give her that." Nolan walked over and took the photo from her hand, placing it face down without thinking too much about it. "She was holding me back," he said. "Everything felt heavy with her around." Tina smirked. "You stayed long enough." "I was being responsible." She laughed. "No, you were being comfortable." That hit closer than Nolan expected, but he ignored it. He handed her the wine glass. "It's done now." Tina took a sip, then dropped onto the couch like she owned it. Finally. Her eyes scanned the room, taking everything in, the children's drawings taped to the fridge, the small shoes by the door, the toys tucked into corners. She wrinkled her nose slightly. "You'll need to clear all this out," Nolan nodded. "Yeah, I'll handle it." "You should have done this sooner," she added. Nolan leaned back, trying to feel the relief he had imagined. "I know." But something about the silence in the house felt strange. It was too quiet. No soft footsteps, no background chatter, no small voices asking questions, just emptiness. Tina didn't seem to notice. She stretched out her legs, completely at ease. "Do you think she'll cause problems?" Nolan shook his head confidently. "No." "You're sure?" "She doesn't know how." Tina raised an eyebrow. "That's convenient." "She avoids conflict," Nolan continued. "She'll just adjust." Tina smiled, satisfied. "Good." She stood and walked toward the kitchen, opening cabinets like she was already memorizing where everything was. "I don't like clutter," she said casually. "We'll simplify things." Nolan watched her move through the space. This was what he had wanted, wasn't it? Something lighter, something easier. No expectations, no pressure, just freedom. But as Tina laughed softly to herself while reorganizing items that weren't hers to touch, Nolan felt a faint discomfort he couldn't explain. He pushed it aside. "It's done," he repeated to himself. And for that night, he chose to believe it. Mara didn't ask questions when she opened the door. She didn't need to. One look at Kira, at the children, the suitcase, the quiet devastation in her eyes, and Mara stepped aside immediately. "Come in." Kira walked in slowly, like her body hadn't fully caught up with her situation. The children followed closely, their small hands still clutching onto her. Mara knelt down to their level. "Hey," she said gently. "You two hungry?" They nodded. "Good. I have cereal and milk and maybe something sweet if you're lucky." That earned the first faint reaction from them. While Mara led them to the kitchen, Kira stood near the door, still holding onto the suitcase handle like she might disappear if she let go. "Drop it," Mara said softly without turning. Kira hesitated, then released the handle. The suitcase fell slightly to the side. That sound, small as it was, felt like something breaking open. Kira sat down slowly, her hands resting on her lap, her mind still replaying the moment the door shut in her face. From the kitchen, she could hear Mara speaking gently to the children. "You're safe here," Mara said. "Nothing to worry about tonight." Kira closed her eyes briefly. Safe. That word felt distant, but she held on to it anyway. Later, after the children had eaten and fallen asleep on the pull-out couch, the apartment grew quiet. Mara sat across from Kira, arms folded, watching her carefully. "Tell me." Kira exhaled slowly. "He told me to leave." Mara's expression didn't change. "And the woman?" "Inside, already settled." Mara nodded once, her jaw tightening slightly. "Of course." Kira reached for her phone and unlocked it. "He sent this." Mara read the message silently. "Take what's yours and don't come back." Mara leaned back. "Good." Kira frowned faintly. "Good? Very good," Mara said. "Save everything." Kira looked down at her phone. "I don't want to fight, Mara." Mara's voice softened slightly. "Then don't fight." Kira looked up at her. "Just stop protecting him." That landed deeper than anything else. Kira swallowed. "I wasn't protecting him." Mara held her gaze. "You were." Silence filled the room. Kira looked away first, and for the first time that night, her composure cracked just slightly. Not in loud tears, not in dramatic collapse, but in a quiet, undeniable realization. Mara stood and placed a blanket over the children, then turned back. "Get some rest," she said. Kira nodded, but she didn't sleep right away. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, her mind slowly shifting from shock to something sharper, something clearer. And when she finally closed her eyes, it wasn't to escape, it was to prepare. 1 week later, Nolan laughed as he pulled into the driveway. Tina was still talking about the night they'd just had, music, drinks, attention, and for a moment it felt like everything had worked out exactly the way he planned. "See?" he said, glancing at her. "No drama." Tina smiled, adjusting her hair in the mirror. "I told you, clean break." But as the car rolled to a stop, Nolan's smile faded. There was a moving truck in front of the house. Men were carrying furniture out, his furniture. "What is this?" he muttered, stepping out of the car quickly. Tina followed, her heels clicking sharply against the pavement. 2 women stood on the porch with a clipboard. Nolan approached, his confusion already turning into irritation. "What's going on?" One of the movers glanced at him. "New owner takes possession today." Nolan blinked. "New owner?" The woman with the clipboard checked her papers calmly. "Yes, property was sold." "Sold by who?" She looked up. "Kira Lawson." The world seemed to pause. Tina turned slowly toward him. "Sold?" Nolan's face drained of color. "That's not possible." The woman continued, unfazed. "All documents are verified. You'll need to vacate." Nolan looked past her, into the house. His house. Except it wasn't. Not anymore. He took a step back, his mind racing through everything he thought he knew, ownership, control, stability, and realizing all at once that he had never actually checked what was truly his. Behind him, Tina's voice came out quieter now. "Nolan, what did you do?" Rowan stood in the driveway like the air had been knocked out of him, watching strangers carry pieces of his life out the front door. A couch. A lamp. The dining table he used to brag about to his friends like it proved he had made it. Every step the movers took felt like a sentence being read aloud, and he couldn't interrupt it. "This is a mistake," he said louder this time, stepping closer to the clipboard woman. "I live here." The woman didn't flinch. "You were living here. The legal owner transferred the property. You've been notified through the proper channels." "I haven't been notified of anything," Nolan snapped. One of the movers, a tall man with sweat on his temple, paused and pointed toward a sealed envelope taped near the doorframe. "That one's for you. We were told not to touch it." Nolan turned sharply and saw it. His name, typed neatly. No heart, no apology, no explanation. Just Nolan Lawson, like a stranger being served papers. Tina hovered behind him, eyes darting between the truck and the house, as if she expected the walls to suddenly change their minds and put everything